everyone, Angie B. It's been a dog's age since I did my last vlog, and so I did a poll yesterday to see what everyone wanted to hear me talk about. Now, the result was overwhelmingly, you want to hear me talk about the Lido, which is my Greek gods in modern times retelling. But I was on Tumblr last night, and there was a shit ton of Doctor Who wankery going on, and it got me to thinking about Season 5, and, well, I got kind of meta last night, just in my own personal headspace, so I decided to go ahead and do a vlog defending and reflecting on Season 5, and then I'll do a Lido vlog. So I've got some things that I want to say about Doctor Who Season 5 and about the fandom in general. Now, I know a lot of people will agree with me, Kaylee is definitely one of them, that there is a shit ton of wankery that happens in Doctor Who. It's like the worst fandom ever, and I think that's in large part because it's been around so long. So the wankery's kind of accumulated, it's snowballed, and there are people from all walks of life in all places in the world that love the show and then love to bitch about the show. Now, I have a lot of issues with the wankery in Doctor Who, just in large part because why can't you just like what you like, dislike what you like, and then leave it at that? Rave about what you love. If you don't like something, talk about it in your own personal space. Don't spread the hatred around on other people's blogs, other people's Tumblrs, other people's live journals, whatever. Why does everyone have to be a troll in this fandom? It really pisses me off. But I'm not getting into that so much. I actually want to defend the season. I want to defend Season 5, I want to defend Moffat, 11, Amy Pond, all of them. I wrote up a handy list, because I'm the sort of person that can't remember shit or talk in a coherent manner unless I have a list. So, starting off, first point. People who have only seen Season 5 aren't really fans. Or people who only like Season 5. Or people who have only seen Seasons 2 or Seasons 4 or whatever. That's a load of bullshit, okay? You don't have to have a required amount of viewing in order to be a fan of something, especially not a kids show, a family show, a show that's as full of joy and excitement and imagination as Doctor Who. You are a fan of the show if you have seen one episode and you liked it. You don't have to watch a pre-required amount in order to be considered a fan. You can have valid opinions about the show if all of you've seen and all of you've liked is Season 5. How do you have to have your opinion validated by seeing all of the show? And for people who are like, no, you have to have seen all of the show, you must be fucking kidding me. Because you do realize that the show has been around since 1963. There are over 200 different adventures, episodes, whatever you want to call them, in the canon. You don't need to have seen everything from the very beginning in order to be a fan of Doctor Who. You don't even need to have seen all of the new series. You just have to have seen some of the episodes and liked them to be considered a fan. Number 2. 11 isn't the Doctor. Then who the fuck is he? I understand that some people might not like 11 as much as 9, or as much as 10, or as much as 4, or as much as 5. It doesn't matter. Everybody can have their own particular favorites when it comes to the Doctor. They are all still the Doctor. Every actor's take on the character is just as valid as any others. Just because Matt Smith might not be as conventionally handsome as David Tennant, or as angsty and, full of pathos as Christopher Eccleston, or as zany as Tom Baker, doesn't mean that he isn't the Doctor. 11 is still the Doctor, okay? People that prefer 11 over other Doctors, that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them, or that they are teeny boppers, or that they're following the crowd, or whatever. Personally, myself, upon great reflection, I have to say, I prefer 11 over any other Doctor. This took me a long time to admit and come to terms with, because I've always really liked 10. I mean, David Tennant's Foxy, I really liked the character, I loved his romance with Rose. I've also really, really liked 9, because Christopher Eccleston is a fabulous actor. I thought 9 had a lot of depth, a lot of range, I really liked the character, and it's a shame that he only got one season's run. But when I think about it, I really like Matt Smith's take on the Doctor the best, because it's the most in keeping with all of the ideals of the Doctor that I have in my head. He always looks on the brighter side of things, he's always optimistic, he sees the best in everybody. I mean, all of these qualities exemplify the Doctor. And to some extent, 9, 10, all the other past Doctors have all shown that too. But for me, I just feel like Matt Smith has embodied the character a little bit better. I also think Matt Smith's performance is amazing, okay? This kid is so talented. He has so much range. He's able to convey all these different emotions, and he's the only actor thus far, in my opinion, that's been able to convey the true age of the Doctor. Okay, this is a character that's supposed to be very alien. He's supposed to be 900 plus years old. And, you know, for better or worse, none of the other actors have really conveyed that depth, that, you know, experience to me. And here comes Matt Smith, the youngest to ever take on the role. And for me, he's really nailed it. You can feel just how weary and how much of an old man he can be in some scenes. And conversely, he can also be this naive, you know, joyful little boy character. And I love that about his performance. He just has done such a splendid job in the character. And anyone that wants to hate on Matt Smith or spam me with comments saying that 11 sucks, I don't give a shit. I love 11. I think he's great. I love how Matt Smith's, you know, physical looks aren't really in keeping with some of the actors that we've seen before. He looks more alien. You can totally buy that he's not really human because he just has this otherworldliness to him, and he's not conventionally pretty. I have to admit, that was sometimes distracting with David Tennant. You would totally forget that he was supposed to be an alien just because he's so foxy. So, I really like Matt Smith's portrayal. I really love 11. I just think he's doing a fabulous job. Next point. Moffat's portrayal of women, negative or proactive? Now, I know there's a lot of wankery around Stephen Moffat in regards to some comments that he's made in interviews or what have you in regards to women. I actually haven't seen any of those, read any of those, what have you. If they exist, if you swear that they exist, okay, I'll take your word at it. But what I'm judging is how he writes his women characters. And I have to say, I think he's doing a really good job of making strong women. Now, a lot of people like to hate on Renette, on Madame de Pompadour. And I think the problem they have with him is that she's an overtly sexual character, and that, oh, she might not be a good role model because she was a courtesan. I'm sorry, but I think it's great that Stephen Moffat has made his women characters so confident in their sexuality. What's wrong with a woman being aware of her body and aware of her sensual pleasures and taking advantage of that? There are so many male characters in any sort of fandom, any sort of TV show, movie, what have you, that are really sexually promiscuous, and that's totally fine. Because with the double standards society has, it's okay for them to be super sexual and super aggressive and forward and confident. But for some reason, when it comes to women characters, especially in this fandom, they have to get hated on. That takes me nicely to Amy Pond. The slut-shaming of Amy Pond is really fucking annoying. It is pissing me off to no end. Just because a woman wears short skirts and tights and is a kissogram and likes to kiss people does not make her a slut, okay? That makes her confident. And when it comes to Amy Pond, it's always very flirtatious. It's always very friendly, you know? You don't really get the sense that she's a slut as much as she just likes kissing people. What's wrong with kissing people? There's absolutely nothing wrong with kissing people, okay? Seriously. It's not like she literally hopped in bed with everyone and had wild, raging sex without condoms and birth control and whatever. She is not a slut just because she wears short skirts, okay? Rose Tyler wore tons of short skirts, and I haven't heard nearly as much slut-shaming against Rose as I have against Amy. It just bothers me, okay? And another thing, okay, this is in regards to Amy and how sexual she is or how confident she is. 100 Squares on LiveJournal. There's a great pic spam about why she loves Amy Pond. And it's in defense of Amy Pond, and she brings up some really good points that I would just like to point out here. One being that Amy Pond really adopts a lot of masculine tropes or characteristics. And conversely, Rory, her love interest, adopts a lot of female tropes and characteristics. And I think that's why fandom has such a hard time with Amy or likes to slut-shame her, because she's in more of a masculine, traditionally masculine role. She's the aggressor. She's forward. She's the one that usually saves the day when it's her and Rory. And I think that's a really interesting point. Moffat has made a character that is a woman, who is very obviously a woman, but she does a lot of things that are more okay if she were a man. I just think that's a really interesting point, and I think it's worth thought. So, next time you want to slut-shame Amy Pond or just denounce her out of hand as being a bimbo, I think you should address the issue at hand more as looking at it that she's being more masculine. And maybe in our society, that's evil, that's wrong, that's something that we need to frown upon. And I think that's a shame, because we need to get over these fucking double standards, people. It's the 21st century. Women need to be held in more equal light than men, okay? You know, seriously. Okay, I've pretty much used up my time on this vlog, and I've got more points, so part 2 is going to come straight at ya.